What's up, everybody? It is Thegoal60 here. This video will be talking about the ACC Coastal and also Notre Dame. I grouped Notre Dame in with the ACC, threw it in this video just because I didn't want to make one just about them. And they play a lot of ACC teams already, so therefore they're in this video as well. So by this time, we know that football is right here. We're right on the start of the season. If you haven't watched all the other videos I've had on all the other Power 5 conferences, make sure you do so. Check those out. This is the last one posted for the previews this season. All the Power 5 conferences plus Notre Dame. So let's jump right in. And the first thing we're going to talk about is who I think will win this conference or this division. Not necessarily the conference, because I think Clemson will be the overall winner. But for the Coastal side, I think that Virginia Tech is going to be stronger than what people think. I have them with 7 returning starters, 5 on defense, 7 on offense, including their quarterback. He had a few problems during the summer. They didn't know if he's going to be eligible, but since they found out he is, I think that pushes them up above a little bit higher in the level. Now, they have the same core of coaches. They were +4 in turnovers last season. The big games I have: Notre Dame Week 6, Boston College Week 10, and Miami Week 12. I have them projected at 145 yards rushing, 215 passing. On defense, 145 and 200. So a very balanced team here. And I have them going 11-1. Now, obviously, if they went 10-2, it wouldn't shock me. But I feel like they have the components to go 11-1. Maybe 10-2 is more realistic, but either way, it is above their projected total of 8. So I'm taking over 8 as the lean here for Virginia Tech. Next up, we have the team that actually won this division last season and is going to be very strong again this year, and that is Miami. Now, Miami brings back 7 offensive players, including their quarterback, 7 on defense. They have the same core coaches. They were +11 in turnovers last season, and I think that is probably going to come down a little bit. I know they had, all the stuff with the turnover chain and all that swagger stuff. Either way, I think that comes down a little bit this year, a little bit of regression to the mean. Maybe not quite all the way down to even, but not +11. As far as games that I'm looking forward to with this team, LSU Week 1, at Boston College Week 9, and at Virginia Tech Week 12. As far as projected stats, I have them rushing for 150 yards, passing for 250, giving up 150 yards rushing, and giving up 180 on defense. Now, I have them going 10-2, 6-2 in the conference. The projected total is 9.5, therefore it's not far enough off for that to be a play. So there's no lean on Miami, who I have coming in second in this division. Next up, in third place in the Coastal Division, I have Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh this year, I feel like they have their best chance to have a good season under Pat Narduzzi. I think that this is going to be like his, and I may be completely off on this, but I feel like this is probably going to be his Hail Mary as far as his coaching career here at Pittsburgh. And with 4 offensive starters coming back, it's going to be pretty tough, but I think he can get it done. They do have 9 defensive starters coming back, and that's his side of the ball, so I know that they're going to be strong on defense. They did finish the year last season on a high note, upsetting Miami the day after Thanksgiving, so hopefully they can keep that momentum going into this season. Now, they do have a new defensive coordinator in Randy Bates. They were -3 in turnovers last year. We'll see if that gets any better with this new coordinator. I have them projected at 150 and 205 on offense. On defense, I have them at 130 and 220. So therefore, I have them. That's good enough for 7-5 season, 5-3 in the conference, finishing third. Their projected total is 5.5. So a game and a half above that projected total is not enough for me to think about taking a side. Next up, we have Duke. Duke is bringing back 7 offensive starters, including their quarterback, 8 on defense, so it should be a more improved team this year than they were last year. Last year they finished up 6-6. I look for them to be a little bit better this season. Last year they were 0 as far as their turnover margin in Power 5 games. Also, projected stats, I have them at 160 and 215 on offense, 140 and 195 on defense. And to me, they are good enough to go 8-4, 4-4 in the conference. And with their projected total at 6, it's still not enough. I need 2.5 games or more for that to be a play. But this is something I feel like if I had to make a choice, I would lean towards the over for Duke. Now, the next team I feel like is the same type of situation as Pitt as far as their coach is trying to, I feel like this is probably the last year that Paul Johnson is in Atlanta, and that is Georgia Tech. They bring back 8 offensive starters, including their quarterback with Taquan Marshall, who is very good. Don't get me wrong, he knows how to run that system, and he is a very good athlete. They bring back 5 on defense. With a new defensive coordinator in Nate Woody, I do expect some improvement, but not just a ton. They were -7 last year in turnovers. I would like to see that come up a little bit, but I just don't know if it's going to. I do have them rushing for 320 yards a game, which they're going to get their rushing yards because of that system. They're going to keep pounding the ball until they can't anymore. Have them only passing for right under 100 yards a game. Have them giving up 150 yards on the ground and 225 through the air. And to me, that's good enough for them to go 5-7, 2-6. So therefore, that total of 6, it's not far enough to make a lean. But I feel like that's right in the range of what they're going to be. I just don't see them making a lot of improvement this year. And I feel like I said, I think this is going to be the last year that Paul Johnson coaches Georgia Tech. Next up is a team that I'm kind of disappointed in over the last couple of years. I felt like he had on the, Larry Fedora had this team on the rise and was going to be very good. Unfortunately, he just hasn't. It's kind of turned down a little bit the last couple of years at North Carolina. 5 offensive starters, including their quarterback coming back, 8 on defense. So the defense should be a little bit better than they were last year. They were -8 in turnovers. That has to get better. As far as projected stats, 120 for rushing, 215 for passing, 200 and 220 for defense. I just don't see a lot of improvement. I do see one game better. I have them at 4-8, 1-7 in the conference, and therefore their total of 5 is right there around it. It's not enough for me to make a lean either over or under. It wouldn't shock me if they went 5-7. It also wouldn't shock me if they went 4-8, just like I have them projected, or even 3-9. I don't know if this is going to be the last time that Larry Fedora is at North Carolina, but it's got to be getting close. That seat has to be getting hotter as we speak. And last in the conference, I have Virginia. Now, this is just one of those places, it's just tough to win at Virginia. It's just traditionally tough there. And Bronco Mendenhall being the head coach, he's a good head coach. He's at BYU for a long time. But I just don't know if he's going to get it done here at Virginia, just simply because it's, like I said, it's a tough place to win. It's a tough place to bring in recruits. The high school football in Virginia is decent. It's not the best. It's by far not the worst. But it's not one of those places you're going to win in a hurry. Now, over time, if they give him enough time, he will build this team on defense and rushing the football. And he may have something in a couple of years, but I just don't see it this year. They bring back 5 on offense, 8 on defense, same group of coordinators. They were +4 in turnovers, which is another thing that Bronco actually works on a lot, so I feel like that'll stay around that. I have them projected at 105 and 180 and 200 and 160, therefore putting them at 3-9, 0-8 in the conference. Now their total is 5. I don't think they're going to be that high. I think this is actually a step back from what they had last year quite a bit. And if I had to make a lean here, it would be to the under, but I don't know if I'll be making a play there. And that's everything for the ACC Coastal. Now, since we got all the Coastal out of the way, now we'll jump into, I told you at the start of the video, I add Notre Dame in with the ACC, and it just happened to fall. I put it in this video with the Coastal right before the season starts. But either way, Notre Dame returns 6 offensive starters, including the quarterback, 9 on defense, so I don't see them falling off that much. I do see them having a very good year this time as far as production, and their defense is going to be very good if they can create any of what they lost with their defense coordinator leaving to go to Texas A&M. Now, They do have a new defensive coordinator, like I said. He was here last year, so I think he'll keep that same system going. And if he does, and if he can have any kind of production like they did last year, they will be very good. It is Clark Lee is the defensive coordinator. They were +2 in turnovers last season. I feel like that'll be around the same. As far as projected stats, I have them at 225 and 190 on offense, 135 and 210 on defense. And I have Notre Dame going 10-2 this year. Now, 10-2 would be a very good year. It would actually be an improvement from last year where they went 9-3. For a long time last season, they were in the national spotlight. They were doing very well. I think they'll be the same way this year. They just have a very tough schedule. So 10-2, a very good year for Notre Dame. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I do think they'll have a very good season. That's it for everything ACC Coastal and Notre Dame. Now, if you like the content in this video, if you like any of the videos I've had, please give it that thumbs up. Think about subscribing if you haven't already. Make sure you comment with any of your thoughts on how you think this season is going to go on any of these teams we talked about. And also, if you'd like to support the channel, in the description you'll find the affiliate link to fanatics.com. That's where I get all my shirts and everything from my collection and all my team memorabilia and such. If you will, just click that link before you go to their website, and therefore it helps out this channel. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and all the others, and let's have some fun this football season. Be glad, be thankful that football is finally back, and good luck. Thanks.
60% of the time, it works every time.